The locker room is buzzing, a veteran defender is comparing Caleb Williams to absolute legends, and our longest-tenured player just dropped a massive Super Bowl ultimatum. But the real shocker? A jaw-dropping, multi-million-dollar master plan to lock down our offensive line for the rest of the entire decade. Before we dive into this absolute madness, make sure to hit that like button, share this with every diehard fan you know, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update. Let me tell you, when Ian Rappaport dropped the news earlier today, I practically jumped out of my chair. Darnell Wright's fifth-year option has officially been picked up, meaning our absolute bulldozer of a right tackle is firmly locked in through the 2027 season. But listen to me, this is not just standard front office procedure. This is the opening move in a brilliant financial chess match. By exercising this option, the front office essentially secured a mammoth foundational piece on a 2-year deal worth right around $26 million for the next 2 seasons. And as we have been screaming from the rooftops all off-season long, this is merely step 1. You pick up the option, you secure the immediate future, and then you immediately hit the negotiation table to hammer out a massive 3 or 4-year extension. Why? Because the salary cap is a puzzle, and doing it now allows you to strategically spread out those massive cap hits. Let's look at the sheer numbers for a second. Right now, Darnell carries a highly manageable cap hit of $67 million for this year. Looking ahead to 2027, that projection jumps to roughly $19.7 million. But if a long-term extension gets inked, everything changes. The market across the NFL is absolutely exploding right now. Just look at the wide receivers. Jackson Smith-Njigba just completely broke the bank, securing a mind-numbing $42 million per year as the highest-paid receiver in the game. Now, Darnell's number won't touch that receiver money, but his agent is absolutely going to point to the tackle market. With Rashawn Slater sitting pretty at $28.5 million annually, you better believe Darnell's camp will demand to make him the highest-paid offensive tackle in the NFL, or at least dangerously close to it. Personally, I say pay the man. What if they hand him a 4-year, $120 million extension? That puts him at an even $30 million per year. Earlier in the off-season, I thought a 4-year, $112 million deal with $82 million guaranteed would get it done, but if bumping it to $120 million with $85 million guaranteed is what it takes, you do not hesitate. You spread that cap hit out over a 5 or 6-year window, and you sleep soundly at night knowing your quarterback's right side is protected by a brick wall. Think back to the monumental pressure of Darnell's rookie year. Think back to last season when he was thrown into a brand new offensive system. It was incredibly frustrating watching those early false starts and penalty issues. But then, right around week 6, 7, or 8, a light bulb just shattered. He completely eradicated the mental errors, locked in his technique, and became an absolute force of nature, stringing together the best year of his career and earning second-team All-Pro honors. He has improved dramatically every single season, and year 3 was a revelation. We have to give General Manager Ryan Poles a massive, deafening standing ovation for this. Do you remember the sheer panic in the fan base when we passed on Jalen Carter? Trading down a spot, acquiring a future 4th-round pick, and drafting Darnell Wright was viewed as an incredibly controversial risk. But Poles saw a cornerstone, and that risk has paid off tenfold. With the heartbreaking, terrifying injury to Ozzie Trapilo and his brutal road to recovery, there are major long-term question marks on the left side of our line. We are all praying Braxton Jones can step up and have a phenomenal year if he remains the starter, and we very well might draft a tackle on Thursday night to push him. But knowing Darnell Wright is set in stone on the right side is the ultimate security blanket for this franchise. Meanwhile, the energy at Halas Hall today was absolutely electric as the off-season program officially kicked off. We got to hear from several players, and let me tell you, the vibes are immaculate. Coby Bryant, our newest addition in the secondary rocking that number 2 jersey, took the microphone and left me absolutely speechless. This guy just unpacked his bags. He hasn't even gone through a single padded practice with Caleb Williams yet. But when asked about our young signal caller, Coby said he has been in this league for 5 years and has never, ever experienced a quarterback with this level of magnetic leadership so early in a relationship. He called Caleb a great guy, said his maturity is incredibly rare, and boldly declared that the kid is barely scratching the surface of his potential. The sky is the absolute limit. Hearing a battle-tested, five-year veteran get that fired up about our quarterback gives you absolute chills. Coby also mentioned he couldn't even sleep last night because he felt like a little kid going to preschool. He is already deeply in love with the city, the food, and the passion of the fans. More than that, he is bringing a selfless culture to this defense, explicitly stating that if we draft a young safety this week, he is fully prepared to take on a mentorship role, exactly like Quandre Diggs did for him when he first entered the league in Seattle. Are we finally witnessing the birth of a transcendent quarterback and a locker room culture that commands absolute fear and respect before they even step onto the grass? Because the mentality shift doesn't stop there. Cole Kmet, who is currently tied with Jalen Johnson as the longest-tenured guy in the building, delivered a fiercely sobering message. He looked dead into the cameras and declared that last year is completely over with. He brutally reminded everyone of the harsh reality of this league. 7 to 9 brand new teams crash the playoff party every single year. If you slip up, if you rest on your laurels, you will be on the outside looking in. Kmet made it clear that the goal isn't just to repeat last year's magical, heartbreaking run to the NFC Championship game. The only acceptable goal is to exceed it, tear through the playoffs, and go win a Super Bowl. That right there is the direct, unfiltered echo of head coach Ben Johnson. The day after that devastating playoff loss to the Rams, Coach Johnson looked his bruised and battered roster in the eye and told them they were back at the absolute bottom. 0-0. Start over. Kmet absorbed that message entirely. When your veteran tight end, a guy who suffered through the dark years and finally tasted winning, is publicly demanding relentless practice habits, you know the culture is completely bulletproof. And for everyone sweating over those wild off-season rumors about Kmet potentially getting cut or traded, you can breathe easy. Based on his exit meetings, he is supremely confident he will be wearing our colors not just this year, but well into the future. Unless something absolutely chaotic happens in the draft, and a top-tier prospect miraculously falls right into our laps at pick 25, Kmet is anchoring this offense for a long time. With all these massive moves, the aggressive extensions, and the fresh faces stepping into the building, which new addition are you absolutely the most excited to see hit the field? Is it Garrett Bradbury, Coby Bryant, or Devin Bush? Let me know your pick down in the comments section below. Speaking of massive moves, we absolutely have to talk about the pivot at the center position. The sudden, totally unexpected retirement of Drew Dalman was a terrifying shock to the system. Dalman and Caleb Williams had spent countless hours building an incredible, intricate chemistry over the course of the off-season and straight through the grueling regular season. Losing that connection could have derailed an entire offense. But the front office did not flinch. They acted with lightning speed and brought in Garrett Bradbury to anchor the line. Bradbury spoke to the media today and his enthusiasm was completely contagious. He is thrilled to be back battling in the incredibly physical NFC North, but most importantly, he has already started meeting with Caleb Williams. Targeting a seasoned veteran who already knows exactly how to handle the growing pains of a young franchise quarterback, having done it previously with Drake May in New England, was a brilliant, stabilizing maneuver. But let's not kid ourselves, they have incredibly large shoes to fill. The relationship between a center and a quarterback is the literal heartbeat of any offensive attack. They are going to need to practically live together inside Halas Hall to get on the exact same page before training camp. Building that trust is going to be the central storyline of this offseason, and I fully expect it to be at the absolute forefront of the coaching staff's priorities. Draft week is officially here, and the adrenaline is through the roof. It has been a wildly busy day of press conferences. Caleb Williams actually spoke to the media a little bit later than the rest of the guys, so we are going to be going live very shortly to break down his entire press conference and react to every single quote. We will be chopping it up and talking pure football with all of you in just a little bit. Also, if you missed it, Adam Schefter dropped some seriously fascinating draft intel this morning regarding a couple of our highly potential targets, so be sure to check out that earlier coverage. The foundation is set, the roster is hungry, and this team is gearing up for an unforgettable run. See you guys in the next one.